Hey, this is Charles with Historical Gaming, and today I'm going to talk about how to use Vassal to play Washington's War. We're going to go over the first steps of using Vassal. So the first thing you want to do is go to vassalengine.org, go to the download section, and download the version for your operating system. If you don't have Java installed, it should install automatically for you. When you're installing it, you can also have different version numbers of the program in case you need to go back to older versions, which is highly unlikely later on. But you can go under Custom Install and change the name of the path, and you can have multiple versions of Java running on your machine. So the first time that we run Vassal, we're going to get this welcome, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. And in order to see other players online, you have to click on Server Status here, and then you have to drag this bar to the left. If you hit refresh, you'll see other players in other rooms and what games they're playing. Let's take a look if anybody's playing Washington's War. Nope, it's kind of empty right now. So now we're going to download the module. First thing we want to do is create a folder on our desktop and call it modules. You can actually place this anywhere you want. We'll go back to the web page for Vassal, go to the module section, click on the W for Washington's War. We're going to save this. After it's done, we're going to move it to our modules folder, wherever it is. Going back to Vassal, go to File, Open, go to our modules folder, and select Washington's War. The first time that you run it, it's going to take a while to process all the images and things inside of it, but the second time that you run it, it'll be much faster. It's going to ask you for your name. You can put any password in that you like. Doesn't matter, you don't have to register anything. You just have to remember that password for a couple reasons. If you ever have to install Vassal on another computer or your computer crashes, you will have to put in that password in order to see your side of the game. So if you're doing a game by email or if you're playing a line against an opponent, this password is just used to secure your files against your opponent's files, and it tells the difference between two from this password. We're going to look for a game online. We're going to look for a game online. We could play it offline if we wanted to just play it solo, but we're going to try and show you how to connect online. You can play by email too, which is kind of cool, and I'll show you that bit too. So the very first thing that you're going to do is see if you can find an opponent in there, and you're going to create a room together. So one of the two sides will create the room practice. The other can right-click and join the room, and now you have your own private room. You can actually lock this room if you want, so nobody else can get into it. Then if you want somebody to get in, you just unlock it. You can send messages to other users by right-clicking on them and say send private message if you like. Now, going back to the game, go to File, New Game, and we decide which side we want to play. So for this one, I'm going to play solo. If you were playing as the British, it would protect your view from the American player and vice versa. So if you're playing online against an opponent, you're more than likely going to pick British or Americans. I'm going to do this so we can show all the actions and things like that. So I'm going to go across the buttons from on the top here. Retire is when you want to change your side to the American or the British player. Pieces are where all the pieces are located. You'll notice there's 3 different tabs here. You just drag those to the board. And sometimes right-clicking on an object inside of Vassal gives you different options you can do with it. You can also do shortcuts, but for this Vassal module, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You have your strategy cards. You can put those on the board just like the regular game. And you do have the areas down at the bottom, which also have areas there too. Put the cards down there. Let's see, strategy cards. American hand, so this is where you draw your cards. Not all Vassal modules have this, but essentially you can just click on them right here and draw your cards that you need. As you want to play those, you can play for PC, political control, or you can discard it for a 1+1 DRM in battle. And if you need a random discard, you can select this button right here. British hand, the same thing. So this is to show how many cards you have in your hand for each player. Just in case you're worried that somebody might have forgotten to draw a card or drew too many cards, you can always check that to make sure. Here's the sequence of play. You can use this drop-down button to look at the different things you can do in the game. Dice rolling. You'll notice that the dice roll shows up here. If you want to move the pieces out of the way, you just click again and it disappears. If you want to make notes about this game, you can type notes and save it as part of the game, like who certain things that are happening, what turn you're on, or something like that. So in case you're playing by email, you can communicate through this public area right here. Private is just notes to yourself, like maybe you want to do something next turn, you're playing by email and you want to keep track of what you did during the game. And a delayed is used in some games, not in this one, to maybe mark a hidden area on the board, and you can say, I will not release this location until turn 4. I will be in H3 for the game. And then this will be saved as part of the game, and then when you get to a certain point, like turn 3 or turn 4, you can reveal your location, and that will show your opponent which location you selected. So that helps kind of make sure that the player marks the appropriate area and doesn't change it. Ending turn should clear the cards and the markers that need to be cleared. And then we've got the ability to export this map and save it as a picture if we want. You can zoom in and zoom out. We can hit the minus here, or we can automatically adjust to the width, or just adjust to the height. It's a little bit off screen here, but you can scroll up and down using this. It's a faster way. And this is a way of looking underneath pieces. If you need to read that American leader reinforcements text, you just click on this and all the things on the board will disappear for a second. Let's see. So this is if you disconnect and you want to reconnect. For example, if we accidentally go offline or internet goes down or something like that, you can reconnect here, rejoin your room. You can disconnect here. Some people use this to declare I'm looking for a game. So the exclamation point means I'm waiting for somebody to come play a game with me. This is away from the keyboard. Just different messages. Actually, I've never seen that before. And that's pretty much it. So you can do your turn. You draw your cards, play your cards, move your things around, play operations pieces. So after you're done with your game, if we finished half a game, you can click on Save a Game and save this to your desktop as turn 1. And now that will be saved with your password and all the playing pieces intact as when you save the game. And then say we did some more actions here. Play for PC. Give some pieces. Oh, where's political control? Okay, so in order to place political control, we right-click on an area and place an American PC marker, and vice versa for the British. And you can change those back. You can add reinforcements. You can delete a PC and place a British PC like that. And then let's say it's turn 2. We can say this turn 2. You can email this to your opponent. He will open it, do his turn save as turn 2B or turn 2A, or you can come up with any type of numbering sequence that you like, but it's better if you try to find some sort of sequence because you can reload them all in one continuous playback if you like, using a load continuation. So like opening a game and then playing it back and then loading turn 2 and then playing it back. So you can load all those continuations together and link and see the whole game. If you are doing this for a play by email, you want to do the logging option, which will log each turn that the player is doing during the game. So we'll just name this log. And I apologize. This is the file you'll be sending back and forth, not the saved version. So if you're playing with somebody and you need to quit and come back another night live, you can do the save game as. If you want to do a play by email, you want to do the log. So now everything that we're doing is logging inside of that file. Okay. Then we'll end our log. It'll save it automatically. We close that. We email that to our opponent, who will go to load game, and he'll open the log file 1. And you'll notice if he presses this button forward, everything that we did will show up on the screen. And if he wants to rewind and go backwards, it can go backwards here. When the player's turn is finished, after you're finished reviewing the other player's turn, you can start a new log file. We're going to name this one 2. And we're going to do our turn. So that will save from this point forward into the second turn. And then, like I was saying before, if at the end of the game you decide you want to rewatch the whole thing, you can go to File, Load Game, Load Turn 1, and then do the continuation and load turn 2. And that is pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson on how to use Washington's Word, and take care.